All right, everybody, welcome into another episode of the Wide Eye Sports Podcast. Today, we are going to be hitting you, the fans, with one question for every single NFL team before the 2024 NFL season. So let's roll the credits and get it underway. All right, so before we get into this, we have a very serious topic to talk about. I need everybody to take a second and like and subscribe to the channel, because if you like this video and it reaches 50 likes, we here at Wide Eye Sports will be doing a giveaway that you are automatically entered into for liking the video. All it has to do is reach 50 likes. That's all. All we got to do is hit 50 and then auto pick from there. And if you win, you could win a mini helmet of your favorite team. You could win a gift card to your favorite restaurant, to your favorite NFL shop website. You could win a number of different things. So make sure to hit that like button. We really appreciate it here. And let's get into this. So I went through and I did all the teams and I came up with one question for every single team before the season starts. And I did it in order of standings, worst to first. So Carolina, Arizona, New England, Washington, LA, we'll start with Carolina. So question number 1. Can Bryce Young succeed with the new weapons and new head coach, David Canales, who turned around Geno and Baker in consecutive seasons? Riley, what do you think?
For me, it depends on what you define as succeed. I mean, I think that a 500 season for them would be a success. I don't think this group of receivers is going to make Bryce Young a top 5 quarterback. I don't think Bryce Young has the physicals to be a top 5 quarterback.
What you trying to say about us short kings, huh? What you trying to say?
And it is not his height, but if you look at the elite quarterbacks, they have a physical talent that is just different than other human beings, and I don't see that in Bryce Young.
My number one guy who doesn't have a physical talent was Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning, he was big. Don't get me wrong. He was like 6'6", so he's a physically impressive human being, but he was just so smart. Brady learned from Peyton, right? Peyton had it in like 05, right? Early on in his career, he learned, I just have to know what they're doing, and then I know what I can do from there. And Brady went on to learn that. Brady's another guy who's just so mentally smart at the beginning of the play. He's like, yeah, I know exactly what you're doing. Doesn't matter. Hike. So,
and I have not seen that from Bryce Young.
I don't think anybody.
Maybe he doesn't.
I think a Kirk Cousins maybe would be the only guy in the NFL currently that's like that. But there's just not a lot of those. Maybe a Geno Smith, maybe, but not to the level of Peyton or Brady, obviously. Just guys that have less physical attributes and more just pure arm talent and, mental attributes. But I think that we can just, if we can all just as a group, us, the fans, everybody, just wipe Bryce Young's rookie season off the board and count this as his rookie season, I think he will have a very standard development as a quarterback from here on out. Dave is a great head coach. Bryce Young has intangibles to be an NFL quarterback. It's just he has to put it together, obviously. That's why he was drafted number 1 overall. Yeah, I just think he's got to put it together. And I think in a year or 2 or even 3, I would give him 3 full years from here, because this, like I said, I'm counting this as his rookie year. I think he can be a top 15, top borderline, a Kirk Cousins-esque quarterback in the NFL. But yeah, that's our answer for Carolina. So we're going to move on to Arizona. We're going to try to speed that. That was a long one. I'm not going to try to take, we got 32 teams to go through. I'm going to try to speed it up for everybody. Okay. I apologize for that. Arizona. Can the 31st ranked defense take a step forward and help a healthy offense that has Trey McBride, James Conner, Marvin Harrison Jr., Kyler Murray? Can that defense take a step?
Again, I think it means, what do you think? Define as a step? I mean, I don't think they're going to be top 15.
10 spots. They got to get into the top 20. I think if you look at Patrick Mahomes' career, I think he has had 1 year where he did really good with a bottom 50. Like before they started winning all these Super Bowls, He had like a top, like I think it was 20 to 25 to 15 defense, like somewhere in there, and Pat Mahomes couldn't get it done. So like,
Yeah.
you have to have a defense that's good.
I think their defense ends up between 20 and 15, but I don't think they're going to be substantially changing their win totals.
Okay, all right. New England, will Drake May start, and if so, how does he look? I mean, from what I've seen from Drake May, that was Kevin O'Connell's guy reportedly in the pre-draft process. I like everything about Drake May, and we'll see if he can put it together on Sundays.
I don't know if he will or not. I think the cutting of Bailey Zappi helps that a lot, but I think he definitely should. But I think he'll look like any other rookie in his rookie year. He'll have flashes, he'll have low points, but the biggest thing for the Patriots is just developing him from here on out so he doesn't end up like Mac Jones.
Yeah, my problem with New England is, like, when was the last time you saw a rookie quarterback succeed in the NFL without great weapons?
Yeah.
Like, It just doesn't happen. It ruins the quarterback. So,
but they did, in the Patriots' defense, they did try making moves for Brandon Ayuk, or it was reported as.
All right. I'm gonna use my favorite saying ever. Do you try to wipe your ass when you go to the bathroom, or do you just do it? You can try to do things. You can. Oh, we tried to get wet, but you didn't. You either do it or you don't. I don't like that excuse. I don't like it. All right, we're gonna move on to Washington here.
Yep.
What will Dan Quinn be able to do with this roster? Because they have a pretty good offense. You got Scary Terry. You got maybe the most explosive quarterback in the draft. And I know you don't like hearing that, but I mean, this dude is Lamar Jackson 2.0, in my opinion. You got Austin Eckler, Brian Robinson. You got a decent, not good, not great, decent offensive line. They're not bottom 5, but they're not top 15. Which is, what can he do? What are your expectations for what Dan Quinn can do with this roster as a whole?
I think in his first year, then being around 500 with the talent and the rookie quarterback, but I think in the NFC 500 will be in the hunt around the wild card spot. Like they could be in the hunt coming down the final stretch.
Okay. So you see them as a top 9 to 7 NFC team.
Yes.
Top 10 NFC team for sure.
I could. Yeah.
Okay. All right. The Los Angeles Chargers. How far will Harbaugh be able to go in his first year as the Chargers head coach? Kind of similar question to the Dan Quinn question. What do you see their ceiling?
Their ceiling, I think, is double-digit wins. A wild card spot. I don't think they get the.
When you say double digits, are you saying their ceiling is 10 wins, or are you saying their ceiling is 12, 13 wins?
11. I'd say 11. Their ceiling is 11.
If they had the best season, you think they could? You think
their
getting
maximum ceiling, their best season 11, because that would be a huge turnaround to go anything above that in 1 year after.
Yeah.
With as many new pieces as they have playing big roles now.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see him sneaking into the playoffs.
Yeah, me too. I think with a guy like Justin Herbert, you have the best quarterback Jim Harbaugh's ever got to work with in the NFL. You have nobody at receiver, but you have 2 stud tackles. You have a great interior defensive or offensive line. You have one of the best pass rushing duos in the NFL. Jim Harbaugh's a defensive guru. I think that they are a 9-win team minimum. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. Harbaugh, I watch a Vikings podcast every once in a while, and they have a lot to do with a couple guys who played under Harbaugh on the 49ers team that came to Minnesota after, and they rave about Harbaugh all the time, about how good of a head coach he is, how just everything is perfect under Harbaugh. Like, it's never his fault when they lose, but not like he doesn't take the blame. He does. These are his players being like, it wasn't his fault when we would lose. It was ours. He didn't do anything. We fucked up his plan. So for you to have guys who are making 10, 20, $30 million a year going, hey, I fucked up. That's not on you, coach. That's big.
Yeah.
That's big. This is something about the respect he commands. So, all right, next up, the New York Football Giants. Can Daniel Jones convince the Giants they were right to pay him $40 million a year. Can he do it?
No.
He's washed.
And I can't even just simply no.
Yeah. We've stated this on the show before. Hold on. Surprise cuts? Nope. I thought maybe there's a surprise cut. We've stated this before, but Ed Donatel should be getting royalties for Daniel Jones' contract. Daniel Jones played 2 games. Here, we're gonna take a couple seconds here. And we're just gonna do a little experiment. So we're gonna look up Daniel Jones. Sorry. Look up Daniel Jones here. And we're gonna deep dive this for just a second, because I've said this several times on the show before, but I've never actually given the logistics of why I say this. So Ed Donatel was the Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator in 2022. The Vikings were 13-3. They should not have been 13-3. Like, our defense was like so bad. Like, I cannot explain to you. We won every close game we were in. Some miracle Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson catch, a big run by Dalvin Cook, like miracle stuff. Okay. So in Daniel Jones' 2022 season, the season that got him paid, okay, he had 3,200 passing yards, 15 touchdowns, and let's see, where's his interception? And 5 interceptions. So that's pretty good. 3-to-1 ratio there, right? Like, that's, I'll take that. Okay. He had 2 games with more than 300 yards passing, and he did not have, outside of those 2 games, he did not have a game with more than 250 yards passing all year. 1 game was against the Detroit Lions when they were I think they were 1-8 to start the season, and the other was against the Minnesota Vikings. Okay. Giants squeak into the playoffs as a underdog. I think they were the 6th seed.
Yeah.
And they get Minnesota on the road. And our defense was so bad that this guy who, the week 16, he had 177 yards. Week 14, he had 160. Week 13, he had 169. Week 12, he had 200 against teams like Washington, Philly, Detroit, Houston. He had 197 yards. Like, this dude wasn't lighting up defenses at all season. And on a road playoff game, he comes into Minnesota, throws for 300 plus yards and 2 touchdowns. And because he was able to win that game, the Giants went, well, this is our quarterback of the future. He just went on the road in a playoff game and threw for 300 yards. This dude's the real deal. Little did they know, it was just Ed Donatel sucks at being a D coordinator. And that was my rant of the week, and I will never bring it up on this show again in that much detail, but we've never done it, and I've said it so many times, I wanted to give a legitimate reason for why I keep saying it. So I just thank you for listening. We'll move on to Tennessee now. What will the post-Mike Vrabel offense look like with the plethora of new weapons in Pollard, Boyd, Calvin Ridley? What do you think they look like?
I think it'll struggle at first. I think if they have any success, it's because they are going to turn it around late in the season if they can. If they can't, I think they're a bottom 10 football team.
All right. I don't hate that take. All right, Atlanta's up next. It's real simple. We getting Kirko or are we getting Kurt? Which one are we getting?
Man, I think we're going to get Kirko.
I hope so.
I think we're going to get Kirko down in Atlanta.
I would love that. I don't hold any ill intent towards Kirk Cousins. Obviously, we told him, hey, we're going to draft a rookie. He's like, I don't want to be a bridge guy. I want to play for 4 or 5 more years. And the Falcons are going to give me $160 million to go do that. And you're only going to give me 40 to play for 1 year. So I'm going to go do that. How can I blame a guy for being like, oh, you're going to pay me $120 million more? No, thanks. That's not how that works.
And I've already met with their trainer.
Yeah, seriously. And I met with their trainer and they said they were cool down there. So
yeah, he said it was awesome down there.
Yeah, so, and his wife's family is from there, so the in-laws now get to be with the kids all the time. You have enough, I can't blame him, right? Would I have loved for Kirk to be in Minnesota this year? Yes. Does it suck that he went there because we were drafting a rookie and now he's in that situation anyways? Yes. But, I mean, what you going to do? Sam Darnold is the quarterback.
Man,
That's what it is.
That really has been a lose-lose for everyone
Yeah.
because he goes and Atlanta drafts a rookie quarterback, and then the rookie quarterback you guys take is out for the season.
First time ever in the Super Bowl era that a rookie quarterback taken in the top 10 will miss his entire first season due to injury alone. This is the first time the Vikings have ever taken a top 10 rookie quarterback. The only time we've ever done it is the only time they miss the entire season. Just another day. Just another day. All right, Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Can Caleb Williams live up to the hype?
Oh, well, I think he definitely can. I don't know if he'll do it in his first season.
No, I mean like in this is for the 2024 season. Is there a world in which Caleb Williams can live up to the hype of the almost savior status that he has been given for the Chicago Bears?
Yes, because I think if we had 7 wins last year, I think if we have 8 wins this year, all of Chicago is crowning him the greatest quarterback ever.
They've already done that. You didn't hear about the statue?
If he gets us to 8 wins, there will be a statue.
They already made in the new stadium plans. They already have a Williams wall section where it's just different portraits of Caleb on the wall. Built into the stadium. He gets a profit off of anybody who goes by the wall.
And just
it's a whole thing.
At it.
Yeah. 10% straight to Caleb's pocket.
No, all right. But I definitely think he can.
All right. So next up, in an offense with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson's coming back week 4, Aaron Jones, Ty Chandler, probably the best tackle duo in the league. Can Sam Darnold be a top 20 quarterback?
Man. If he is, it's not by much. I think even if he has a good season, he's at 17.
But I would be elated because I think of like Baker as like a 17 to 16 guy, right? A Geno Smith is like a 20 to 23 guy. If he gets anywhere near either of those two, I will be top of the world.
But I think he would have to have a great season in order for that to happen.
Yeah, I agree. All right, next up, the New York Jets. Are we going to get the 2021 7-9 Packers Aaron Rodgers? Or sorry, 2022 7-9 Packers Aaron Rodgers? Or are we going to get the 2021 38-3 touchdown to interception ratio Aaron Rodgers?
I could see this being a Jordan Love-esque season for Aaron Rodgers.
Just starts way down here and then just boom.
Yes, out of nowhere. And I think just because he didn't have that much playing time last year, he hasn't played it all in the preseason this year. I mean, these will be the first
meaningful snaps.
Yes, that he's taken in 2 years. So I could definitely see it taking 3 or 4 games for him to feel back into the rhythm. And even once he's there, what does the rhythm look like for a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers?
Exactly. It's such an unknown. If you had to pick right now, MVP Rodgers, old man Rodgers, which are we going to see for the majority?
MVP Rodgers.
Cool. All right, Denver. Is this Sean Payton's last dance if Denver doesn't look like a potentially good team in the future? If they come out and they go 1-9 to start the season, is Sean Payton nixed out of the gate? Not to make a Bo Nix pun, but is he cut?
No. And honestly, I think Sean Payton has Denver wrapped around his stuff. I mean,
so you think they could go pretty much 0-17 and Denver would be like, all right, we're going to give you another year?
Yes. Okay. Just because I think the Waltons are so happy that they got the great coach Sean Payton.
As the great leader Sean Payton?
Yes. That they're like, okay, if this is what the great Sean Payton wants, this is what he's going to get. I think it's going to take a while for them to move off of him.
Okay. All right. Antonio Pierce, new Las Vegas Raiders head coach. Can Gardner Minshew be good enough to not hold that defense back from winning games? Can he go out there and be a good enough game manager to not throw interceptions, to move the ball down the field? Can he do it?
Not consistently. And I think that's been the biggest thing of his career is he'll have moments, he'll have games, but he doesn't do it consistently. And I think that's going to be a lot of the Raiders season this year.
Minshew for MVP. Minshew's going to win an MVP. Wazoo alum. Dude's going to go off. Devontae Adams is going to catch 400 passes.
If there was a 3-week MVP award just for the 3 hottest back-to-back weeks, it would be Gardner Minshew. That would be my favorite.
I mean, a lot of people forget this, but he started for the Colts last season, and they were one C.J. Stroud away from making the playoffs with no JT for most of the season. So he took that Colts team and almost made the playoffs without their best player for most of the season. He's getting way better pass-catching weapons, a worse offensive line, equal running backs to what he had for most of the year last year, obviously not the Taylor, and a way better defense. So I think that they could be good as long as Gardner doesn't go out there and go full fuck it and throw 20 interceptions. If he throws 20 interceptions, he's got to throw 40 touchdowns. That's happening. All right, Cincinnati. Is this defense good enough to match the offense and go on a Super Bowl run? Last year, they were ranked 30th in the league in yards per game. So they were giving up a lot of yards. I think they were only like 22nd in points per game. But can this defense take a step, just improve enough to help this team make the Super Bowl?
I'm going to say yes, as long as, Joe Burrow stays healthy.
Yeah. No, this is just the defense we're talking about. No, assume the offense is firing on all cylinders.
One of the great things about being that bad is it's really hard to be that bad again.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, even you have to be trying to be that bad twice. So even a little bit, you can expect them to improve just because of how hard it is to be that bad 2 years ago.
You can only go up from there type of situation.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. The Green Bay Packers. I'm sure you know what this question is going to be. I'm going to give you the whole question first, though. All right. Jordan Love, weeks 1 through 9. 230 yards per game, 16 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 76.3 passer rating. Or weeks 10 through 18, 270 yards per game, 18 touchdowns, 1 interception, 112 passer rating. Which Jordan Love do we see this season?
I think we see more of week 1s through 8. I don't think he's going to be quite as bad, but I don't think he's going to be quite as good. Green Bay was a 9-win team. People talk about them like they were a 13-win team. I think 10 wins would be the ceiling for them this year. I don't think they've improved a dramatic amount. But I think we'll see a more of a medium from Jordan Love this year.
Okay, so just come back to earth a little. Yeah, maybe a 98 passer rating for the season, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay. Less up and down, just more consistently
mediocre.
Top 3 tier quarterback. If there's 5 tiers in the NFL, he'll be tier 3 or tier 2.
Yes. Okay. He'll be a B quarterback.
B quarterback. All right. I hope he's a D-, but whatever. All right. Anthony Richardson. Indianapolis. That's it. That's the question. Anthony Richardson. Can he be an NFL quarterback? Can he succeed as an NFL quarterback?
I have no fucking clue. I mean, we have seen 2 games from him. We have seen great plays. We have seen terrible. Plays.
And I mean, the preseason game he played in was the same thing. He started I think it was 5 of 6 with a touchdown and 78 yards. And then he had to end after that. He went 3 of 14 with 2 fumbles and 16 yards. We have I know is that fantasy-wise, he's going to get rushing touchdowns. That's it. That's all I know. So, I don't know. But move on to Jacksonville here. Another quarterback-based question. Can Trevor Lawrence take a tier jump? So I think he's a tier 3, tier 2 guy, kind of where we think Jordan Love's going to end up, and live up to that $55 million AAV. Can he take a tier jump? Can he be a 2, maybe even a 1 guy? Can he jump that situation and prove that, listen, I belong here? Because people give him a lot of crap for last year, but when he was healthy last year, the Jags were like 8-1, 1 seed in the AFC, cruise into a playoff, but potentially a home playoff game. He gets hurt, not really playing the same. Can Trevor Lawrence prove he's worth the $55 million a year?
He can. I don't know if he will.
Yeah, this is a can he, not a will he. Can he?
I think he can, but I think it is more likely than not that he does.
So you would say 80-20 that he does. Like 80% that he doesn't show, but there's like a 20% chance that he could.
Yeah, 80-20, 70-30, somewhere in there.
Okay. All right. New Orleans. Can Derek Carr reclaim his former top 20 quarterback status and help that top 10 defense make a playoff run?
I think they can. It has a little bit to do with the division they're in, a little bit to do with the conference. But I think if the Saints get hot, Derek Carr gets hot, I think that they can be a playoff team, a wild card team.
Okay. All right. Well, next up is Seattle. What will this team look like post Pete Carroll, in your opinion?
I think it will be a struggle of mediocrity until they find a equal replacement to Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll.
You don't think the new guy McDaniel can cut it? You don't think what he did with Baltimore's defense last year?
I just haven't seen it yet. I don't know. I don't know if he can do it. I don't know if he will do it. What I do know is what the Seattle made the playoffs 2 years ago or last year?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. What were they last year, right? 500?
I don't remember. I'll look it up real quick. We can find out. They were 9-8.
9-8.
Yes,
so I think they will consistently be struggling to get to double-digit wins until they can complete the rebuild. And by that, I mean find a head coach that's going to be there for the future, find a young quarterback that's going to be there for the future. I think they're still kind of gathering themselves after the wreckage that was Russ leaving, the Legion of Boom leaving, Pete Carroll's not the head coach anymore, but he's still in the building, but he's not coaching, but he is coaching. I think they're still trying to build it all together still.
So yeah, in 2022, they lost in the wild card round to the Niners 41-23, and they were 9-8 that year, and then went 9-8 last year, but didn't make the playoffs. I don't know. I think that Seattle has a really good young defense. They just drafted Byron Murphy. They have Devin Witherspoon. Their safety position's kind of lacking, and their edge rushers are kind of lacking. They have good talent, and then their offense: DK, Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Kenneth Walker. Geno's proven that he can competently move a offense up and down the field. Sam Howell's waiting in the wings. I think they have a lot of potential. I don't know if they'll live up to it, but they have a lot of potential.
My thing with Geno Smith is I think if you're planning on having playoff success with him, you have to have the Brock Purdy model.
Yeah, and absolutely.
I don't think Seattle is there.
Fair enough. Tampa Bay. Cam Baker continue his success post Dave Canales?
I'm going to say no. History kind of tells that when Baker has a high point that is followed with a low point.
Spoon's calling me right now. He's not happy with that. He's not happy.
No.
If you haven't watched the show before, we normally have another guy on here. His name's Spoon, and he is a huge Baker fan.
You can count on Baker having a good year every other year.
Every other year. All right. Well, we'll see. Houston, the Houston Texans. Will C.J. Stroud have a sophomore slump, or will he take off with this retooled offense?
Man, I'm going to say he's going to take off. I don't think his numbers may look a little worse, but with the talent around him, I think the team is going to do better regardless.
Okay.
So I think even if he does have a sophomore slump by his own statistics,
The team wins more.
Yes, I think the team wins more.
I mean, that's a lot. I mean, they had 10 wins last year. They went 10-7. I mean, he had a pretty good season. I mean, it would be really, let's see, he had 4,100 yards, 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, has the rookie record for most consecutive pass attempts without an interception to start the season. I think he went through like 7 games without a pick. So had a quarterback rating of 100.8. Yeah, just a great all-time rookie season out of CJ Stroud. And I would just be very shocked if he lived up to that and repeated that success. I would imagine the yardage will be similar, probably have a few more touchdowns, but the interception number will come up.
Yeah.
He'll probably have 28 and 11 with 39 to 4,200 yards, somewhere in there. I feel like he's also going to throw the ball more this year. We'll see. The LA Rams. What will this defense look like post Aaron Donald? They just traded their veteran linebacker. They have 2 new defensive interior rookies. I mean, what do you expect this defense to be?
I think it's gonna struggle.
More of a hindrance?
Yes, I think the defense is going to hold the team back. I think if the Rams are going to go anywhere, it's going to be the Matthew Stafford show. And I don't know if Matthew Stafford still has that in him at, what is he, 40, 41?
No, I think he's 38. 38. I don't think he's 48. I don't know
if he still has it in him at 38.
Rodgers is 40, but I think Stafford's still in his late 30s. All right, Pittsburgh. You know what's coming. Quarterback play. What do you think?
So,
he resettles. He's like, so listen.
Yes. The Steelers, I probably watched more Steelers preseason games than I did the Bears. Right? So I have been visually watching this.
You want Justin Fields to succeed so bad.
No, it's not even that. Like I genuinely think he offers more for the Steelers than Russell Wilson. In the time Russell Wilson was in, the O-line was not blocking at all. Russ is not as evasive as he used to be. He took quite a few sacks. If you watch there was a game where Fields and Russ played where both quarterbacks, they kicked the field goal, right? Fields got them into the red zone, I think 3 times that night, and they went for it on 4th down every time and got a turnover on downs. And Russ didn't make it past the 50 on his 2 or 3 drives.
Continue, sorry.
I think Russ is better from the passing standpoint, getting to the line of scrimmage, getting guys in the right spot. But once the ball is snapped, I think Fields is the better starter for him.
Yeah, up until the 3rd preseason game, they neither had thrown a touchdown pass, which was really bad. Russ was able to throw one, Justin was not. And I'm not saying like that's the indictment of like why you start Russ over Fields. For me, it's the offensive line didn't play well, but you can't put Fields in there because he has the better mobility. You have to assume your guys are going to play well and do their job. And if everybody does their job right, Russell Wilson's the better starter, right? He's the better arm talent. He's the better, like, come up to the line, move the pieces around chess player. Like, Fields is no question about it. Sorry, I got something in my eye.
Very good.
No question about it. He is the absolute better playmaker and better physical talent on the field. I just feel like Russell Wilson gives them a better quarterback, a better passer on the field. And I feel like that's what they want out of their quarterback position. Just got to get the offensive line doing their jobs. But Buffalo, your second favorite team. What will Josh Allen look like without the proven weapons and no more quarterback guru in the building, right? So like last year, Brian Daboll, he's in New York now. He's been in New York for a year. Josh Allen didn't take a dramatic step back, but didn't take a dramatic jump forward, which would be tough for him in any means. But what does he look like now that all of it's gone, right? He has James Cook, Dalton Kincaid, not a great offensive line, very, very blue-collar offensive line, but not a great one. And then that's really it. Yeah. They have a couple weapons on defense, but not really a good unit there. They don't have a great special teams unit either. I mean, what will Josh Allen look like, in your opinion?
So Josh Allen is on his fourth straight year of 40 or more total touchdowns. And I don't think that changes, but I think the offense looks very different.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people's complaints and criticisms about Josh Allen was he locks onto targets, he throws in the tight windows. And I think a lot of that had to do with Stephon Diggs. And you know, as a Vikings fan, how Diggs can be when he's not getting the ball when he wants the ball. And there were times where Josh would just lock on to Diggs, whether he was trying to make him happy or he thought he was the way he could win.
And he trusted him too. You have that trust with your receiver. And of all the things Josh Allen trusts, number one and probably 1 through 3 is his arm. He trusts that arm a lot to be able to fire it in there if he needs to, with good reason. But that also is why he had 18 interceptions last year. He, tends to overtrust the arm ability he has. So
I think that it could further his development with Diggs being gone, as far as not locking onto guys, going through reads, stuff at the line of scrimmage, stuff like that.
All right. Cleveland. I almost skipped Cleveland. How dare I? Can Deshaun Watson turn his career around, or is he cooked? I've been saying it for a year now. Before we went into last year, me and you had this argument a lot.
Yep.
I think he's mentally, not physically, mentally cooked, right? Whenever your own fans are booing you and calling you, all sorts of vulgar names and, all these things, tends to take a negative toll on you when it's tens of thousands of people all chanting, negative things about you. What do you think?
I think it can happen. I don't think it would be quite the Houston Deshaun Watson, but I definitely think he can be a 12-6 quarterback in the league if he can settle down and move past everything that happened.
I mean, he looks like when he's out there playing quarterback, he just looks like he doesn't trust himself. Like he just does not trust himself to do anything. He has no self-confidence about himself when he's playing. Whereas like Houston Deshaun Watson, I mean, he didn't see a play. He would make a play. He would roll out. He would dodge 2 sacks. Wait. Launch a ball, right on a dot, right to a guy.
And now Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, he's dropping back, taking 3-step pistol drops and looking around. Okay, nobody. Okay, I gotta throw it. Ugh. Like he just doesn't look like that guy. He doesn't look like he has the confidence. And that's why I think mentally, because physically he's in the peak of his life, right? He's not gotten any more physically worse. He just doesn't have the mental confidence to go out there and be who he was. But Kansas City, real short and sweet. Can they three-peat? Will they three-peat? Yes or no?
I'm going to say no. Not anything against the Chiefs. I would love to see it happen. I'm just a man of probability. It has never happened before. It is hard to do. I don't know if this Chiefs team is the team to go back to back to back.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, if their defense, the loss of L'Jarius Sneed is going to play a bigger role than a lot of people think. They're like, what's their other cornerback's name? I forget. He's really good. He's a pretty good kid. I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but they're like, he'll just take over for L'Jarius. It'll be all good. The role L'Jarius Sneed played in that defense last year can't just be recreated very easily. You need top 2 cornerback play to recreate that, and those don't just stumble along. Even if you get top 10 cornerback play out of one dude who can be a shutdown corner, that's not enough to do what they did last year. L'Jarius played out of his mind.
The AFC was already the more difficult conference of the two, but now you have Joe Burrow back, you have Rodgers back, you have a lot of these quarterbacks coming back healthy, even better teams than they had last year.
Healthy right now.
Yeah, healthy right now. It's harder than it was even last year.
Knocking on wood over here. All right, Miami. Can they finally beat a 500 team, an over 500 team? Can this team, like last year, they were like 1-6 against, or 1-8 against teams over 500, and like 8-0 against teams under 500. It was some stat like that where they were just very clearly not able to beat teams that had winning records versus teams that didn't. Can this year, can that defense that's been revamped and got a bunch of new fresh faces match the offense and finally be a legitimate AFC contender?
I think that is the only way they're going to win, simply because I don't think Tua is that guy to be able to go out and win games by himself. I don't think he's an elite quarterback. I think kind of with Seattle, I think Miami would have to go the Brock Purdy model if they wanted to get to a Super Bowl, and I don't think the defense is quite there yet.
Okay.
But they could be a playoff team again.
I think that if this defense plays just a little bit better, I think this team's a Super Bowl team. I think they need to just be a little bit better. They don't need to be a lot better, just a little bit better.
Yeah, but, at that point, my biggest doubt would be Tua.
Okay, and I don't blame you for that, but I feel like Tua can play just as well as Brock Purdy did last year. I don't see a reason why he couldn't.
Yeah, but I don't think he has the same team around.
I would argue that he has a better receiving core. He has a better running back room, not running back room. He has Raheem Mostert. They have the rookie, not Trey McBride. That's all I can think of right now as his name. You remember who I'm talking about?
Yeah, the fast
rookie.
one.
No, that's Devon Achane.
Oh.
Devon Achane, sorry. And then they drafted a rookie this year, and I can't remember his name for the life of me, but they have 3 really good running backs in that room, and they have a good fullback, similar to San Francisco. I just think that what they lack in Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, both are downgrades comparatively to Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, in my opinion. Obviously, at the tackle position in general, the 49ers win. Inside interior offensive line, I feel like it's about equal. Quarterback, I feel is about equal. Obviously, San Francisco wins the running back position, so it's just very equal. You win one, I win the other. I just feel like if the defense can take a big jump, then they can be a Super Bowl team. But all right,
I think it would need to be a big jump.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. So let's move on to Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Eagles get Kellen Moore in as the new offensive coordinator. Will Saquon make that offense nigh unstoppable? Now you have A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, the 2 dudes who had almost the most yards of anybody. A.J. was number 1 in the league. I don't remember where Devonta was, but he was high up there. He's like 6th, I think, against man coverage and success against man coverage. Now you have Saquon, right? So you can't just sit back and zone on these guys, right? You have to load the box. You have to play some man. Is this Philadelphia offense going to be damn near unstoppable if Saquon Barkley stays healthy?
I'm going to say no. I think the supernatural funk of last season is still very well sprinkled throughout that team. I mean, there has been some very odd reports coming out of camp talking about a strain in the relationship between Hurts and Sirianni.
Yeah, but hold on, time out. That happens every year. Some about Sirianni and the team not getting all that happens every year. I'm kind of over it.
I'm still. Then you add Kellen Moore coming on and Jalen Hurts saying that 95% of the playbook has been changed.
Yep.
I think that is going to lead to a slow start of the season.
Okay.
And when you pair into the fact that they lost 7 of their final 8 last year.
Yeah, something like that. I don't remember.
And now you lose the first game or 2 of this season. Now you're on a 10-game losing streak. How does that hang over the team? I mean,
Yeah.
I could see a world where the Eagles finish 3rd in that division.
Do you see a world in which they have a losing record? They lost. Hold on. So in their final 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they went 1-7 in their final 8 games.
1-7 in their final 8.
Yeah.
If they did have a losing record, and I mean this would be the ceiling collapsing on the Philadelphia Eagles. They would probably be a 7 or 8 team.
Okay. All right. Next up, Dallas. CDs wiped off the board. Dak, Parsons. Who do you pay? Short and sweet. Who do you pay?
I pay Parsons.
All right, so we're wiping Dak off the board.
In the draft. If you've got to tank a couple of years, go for it.
Okay. All right. Detroit. Here we go. Ready for this?
Yep.
Can the Lions have back-to-back 10-win seasons for the first time ever? Not the Super Bowl era, ever. They were established in 1930. They have never had back-to-back double-digit win seasons. They have only ever had 3 straight winning seasons once, and that was from 1952 to 1954. They went 9-7, 10-6, 9-7. Can they have back-to-back will they have back-to-back double-digit win seasons?
I'm going to say no.
I'm on the same train.
As a Bears fan, I'm not very high on them. There's only been 2 quarterbacks in recent memory to make back-to-back championship games, and that's Mahomes and Purdy. I don't think the Lions and Jared Goff are the team to do it again.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Coming close.
I think they could be a wild card team.
Coming close for this one, okay?
Yeah.
The Lions won't win 9 games this year.
You're that low on them?
They will have less than 9 or less wins. I should say it that way. They might win 9. They will not have a double-digit win season.
Why?
You heard it right here, right now. Their schedule is tough.
Yes.
Their defense did not get better. Okay.
No.
Everybody claimed last season, our defense is way better than it was. It's not better this season either. Okay. Everybody wants to be like, Dan Campbell's had a defensive improvement every single year he's been there. They went from like 32nd to 30th to 22nd. Like they're not even out of the bottom 10 yet. Like they have yet to make a defense outside the bottom 10. And if Ben Johnson wasn't carrying that offense to top 5 every year, Dan Campbell wouldn't even have a job. I've been saying this all offseason. Dan Campbell will not have a job if Ben Johnson's not there.
People talk about Jared Goff like he's a great quarterback.
He's a great game manager. He's an all-time game manager.
They bring up his Super Bowl appearance in which he threw more interceptions in those.
You mean the one where he scored 3 points?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
He's not that guy. He was carried by his team, Todd Gurley. He's not a great.
I'm very much a bias source here. I'm not shying away from my biases here, okay? But biases aside, when you look at the statistics and the facts, okay, that offense blew a double-digit lead in the NFC Championship to go to the Super Bowl. They have never not had a bottom 10 defense under Dan Campbell, and the trend's going to continue. They're going to have a bottom 10 defense. They're going to run the ball really well. They're going to let Jared Goff just not hurt them, and then they're going to get into the playoffs and get beat by a better team. That's what's going to happen. All right. Thank you. I understand that there's opposite ends of the spectrum. Detroit's always improved their defense, so why wouldn't they take another step forward? Because they didn't improve the personnel to get better. They have new players, but the new players aren't any better. So I get it. They have new players. They have this thing. They have this. They have that. They have momentum. That's cool. They have an attitude. They have they have this aura about them, right? But they're just not what you think they are. You think just because they've had slight improvements, they're going to be this, they're going to keep improving. It's hard to just keep going up forever. There eventually becomes a point in which you either plateau completely or start to come back down to earth. That's just what probability is in the NFL. Just how it works. It happens to everybody. It's not because I hate the Lions. It's because that's how the NFL works. Like, eventually you come back down to earth. All right. The San Francisco 49ers. Will they put all the pieces together? This is their last chance. They have salary cap hell next year. They have Trent Richardson getting old. Brandon Ayuk still unsigned. I feel like this is their last chance. Do they win the Super Bowl this year? Yes or no?
I'm going to say no.
The Bears got it. I think the Niners win this. I think they finally win it.
I think they're easily a lock for the NFC. I just don't know if once they're there, if they will be better than whoever's coming out of the AFC.
I think they will be a more physical team who's less beat up, and so that's why I think they'll win. All right. Last but not least, the Baltimore Ravens, last season's regular season champions. Do you think this defense will be able to continue the hot streak they were on last year and play to a top 5 level?
I think
even with Mike McDonald leaving.
I think so. If you look at Lamar Jackson's career, I mean, he's only had 1, maybe 2 seasons where he didn't have a top 5 scoring defense.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had it his entire career.
It's really kind of wild.
Identity.
It's kind of wild that between Buffalo and Baltimore, both have had top 5 defenses every year. Both have had MVP level quarterback play every year, and neither of which have won a Super Bowl because Patrick Mahomes is over there. Like, it's crazy. Like, those two teams, like, if you just took those two teams and showed somebody, like, these are the Baltimore Ravens between 2017 and 2023, these are the Buffalo Bills between 2017 and 2023, you'd be like, oh my God, are those two just alternating Super Bowl appearances? Like, oh my God. And you'd be like, no, because there's this guy who hasn't had an actual wide receiver yet in his career, since like 2019, because Tyreek, and he's just been soloing them every year. But all right, you got anything you want to add? Anything you want to say?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, that is it for one question every NFL team has prior to the 2024 season. Make sure to check out our channel. We have also our video series about predicting the NFL season. We are on week 18 this week, final week, and then next week before the season starts, we'll be jumping in and reviewing it and taking a look at it, reviewing the records. So make sure to check that out. Like, subscribe. We love you, and we'll see y'all next time.